Watch this video clip and think closely about what you hear.
Ba, 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 ba.
You most likely heard the word ba with a B several times. Now watch it again with a different video placed over the exact same audio.
Ba, 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 ba.
You probably heard the word fa with an F. No, we're not eating magic mushrooms. This is the McGurk effect, an auditory illusion that tricks your brain into hearing something that wasn't even spoken.
Man, your mind is powerful, isn't it? It's this incredibly powerful thing that's very similar to a computer. As a matter of fact, it's the most powerful computer that's ever existed. The ability for your mind to compute, to gather data and information, relay it, and do it in an active and instantaneous way cannot be replicated by any machine that's ever been made by man. I mean, your mind, if you think about it, it is so similar to a computer in so many different ways. For example, your mind and your computer can both be programmed, correct? Like it can be programmed, you can input things into your mind that will ultimately create a result. As a matter of fact, a recent stat, not recent stat, but a stat that I read once says that 95% of your thoughts, ideas, and actions today are pre-programmed. Think about that. 95% of your thoughts and actions today are pre-programmed. You're basically on autopilot. Only 5% of our thoughts on any given day are actually new, innovative ideas and thoughts. Everything else has come from the programming of your childhood, where you were raised, how you were raised, the people that you're around, etc., etc. So your mind can be programmed. Your mind also has the ability to catch viruses. It can be corrupted. Corrupt thoughts, corrupt ideas. These things can corrupt the mind and ultimately destroy it from the inside out. Your mind, very similar to a computer, can lag. If it starts to get bogged down, it starts to get overwhelmed, there's too many things going on all at the same time, it gets overloaded and gets all crazy, and we know all about that. For those of you that watch hashtag Rise and Grind on the regular, my computer, it happens all the time. As a matter of fact, I got a lag on this camera right here, right now, so I can't use it. It's just too many systems, too many things, too many operations that are going on at the same time. It creates a lag. Your mind can lag as well. Your mind also, just like a computer, needs to power down. Every once in a while, you just have to power it down. You have to completely unplug it. As a matter of fact, to stay healthy, you got to do it nightly. We have to power it down. We have to unplug the mind just like we would our computer system and give it a chance to refresh and to restart. Your mind, just like a computer, it does require commands. There are commands. You have to tell it what to think. You have to input certain disciplines. You have to tell your mind that it's important that you get to the gym today. You have to talk yourself into doing things. You have to talk yourself out of doing things. It requires commands to control the mind. You see, this week in New Year, New You, we're talking about these three different components: mind, body, and spirit. And that means in order for you to create a new you, to really generate and create a brand new you, in order for that to happen, you must have a new mindset. You must. You can attack the body. You can attack the body and get in shape and try to hit the gym and do all those things consistently. And you can attack the spirit and maybe get a better understanding of the spiritual side of yourself. But if you don't feed your mind, if you don't attack the thoughts, the 95% of the pre-programmed thoughts that you have that are creating your reality every single day. If you do not attack that 95%, you cannot truly change. I know here in 2020, a lot of you are excited about a new year. It's a new you. It's time for you to change. I know it. I hear you. You send me the messages. I see the posts. But in order for you to truly change, we're going to have to change your mindset. Change your mind and change your life. Take that note, Brockway. Change your mindset, change your life. See, look, Sean Jones jumped ahead of me. Beautiful. So, okay, Glenn, got it. Understand. Got to change my mindset in order to change my life. So how do I do that? Well, I got to let you know that change really only happens in two situations when it comes to human beings. The first way that change happens, that a real mindset shift happens, is in traumatic events, right? We have traumatic events in our childhood that can shift the way our mind thinks and processes. There are traumatic events like an accident or a breakup or a divorce or a loss of a loved one. These traumatic events, they tend to change our mindset on things. Yesterday, I talked about the loss of my grandfather and what that experience did and how it changed my mind to understanding that we are spiritual beings and we are most comfortable in life right before death. You see, traumatic events that happen like that can cause a mindset change. However, most of us are trying to avoid those, right? Like, I don't see anybody that like, yes, today I'm hoping there's a traumatic event that will change my mind. Right? There's not very many of you that are waking up hoping that something traumatic happens to you that's devastating enough to shift your mindset. So there's only one other way. If it's not a traumatic event that's going to cause us to change our mindset so that we can become new, then the only other way is we have to create consistent, steady, repeatable actions to change it. It takes work. It takes a consistent, steady, repeatable action towards change to truly change your mind. Now let's break these 4 words down real quick. Why has it got to be consistent, steady, repeatable action? Well, it has to be consistent for the first part because the reason it has to be consistent for the first part is biologically it takes you 67 days, right? We've been talking about this with the Morning 5 Challenge. It takes 67 days to create a biological change in the body where something is easier to do than to not do. Okay? If you do it every single day on day 66, it's harder to do it than to not do it. On day 67, it's harder to not do it than to do it. Biologically, this is proven. Right? So when we are looking to change our mindset, the way we look at things, the way we think about things, when we're looking to change our mindset, it starts with consistency. You must create a consistent action over time, at very minimum, a period of time of 67 days to truly make the change. Now, of course, it has to be steady because, as you all know, slow and steady wins the race, as they say, in the race of the tortoise and the hare. But ultimately, it's got to be steady because sometimes we go all out so fast, we're jacked up. Let's go, 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 let's go. We run and we burn ourselves out. I remember when I was in track at Sanawa High School, I ran the 100 meters, I ran the 200 meters, I was a long jumper and I was a triple jumper. We were at a particular track meet and one of our 4x4 team relay members got sick, wasn't able to race. So coach said, "Hey Glenn, can you run the 400 meters? I said, "Of course. I can run anything. Shoot, I'm an athlete." And so I went out there on this 4x4 team. They put me in the second leg. And so we go out, boom, I get the baton. And when I get the baton, we're in last place. I get the baton and I go running. And I'm flying past all these boys. boom, going around the turn. I hit the 100. Bam, come on. I'm tracking them down. I'm down the stretch on the 200, right? We're going down the stretch, boom, and I'm flying past these dudes. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. And I go around the third turn. And as I start to go around the third turn, all of a sudden, bam! I ran into a brick wall. It stood me up. It stood me up, and all of a sudden, I felt like my whole body was in slow motion, like I was doing everything in my power to try to move, but I wasn't going anywhere. And as the people started flying past me, and I trudged in very last place, by far, it was a stark reminder that the key is to get steady, man. We have to go steady. We can't just put on all the effort up front and all the energy. You'll wear yourself out. So we need consistent action. It needs to be a steady action. And it also has to be a repeatable action. You say, well, why, Glenn? Why has it got to be repeatable? Well, let me give you an example. If your strategy for your financial future is to win the lottery, there's a chance that you could maybe do that once. You could maybe do it. It's very small chance, but you could maybe do it. But a strategy of winning the lottery to protect your financial future is not one that is repeatable. It's not a repeatable action. That's why 90% of lottery winners end up going bankrupt, because they didn't change the mindset going in. They got a sudden windfall, but they don't know how to repeat actions in order to increase their wealth or maintain their wealth. Consistent, steady, repeatable action. Obviously, this last word that we have right here is the word action. That means that it's going to take work on your part. It's not just going to happen. It's not just going to fall in your lap. If you are looking to change, you want to become a new you in the new year, it's going to take action on your part. You're going to have to put in the work. I know that there are a lot of people out there right now that have been attempting the Morning 5 67-day challenge. And a lot of you are a lot of people that I've seen that have posted. A lot of them thought this was going to be fairly easy. Just don't hit the snooze. Don't touch your phone. Write down gratitude and goals. Take care of the physical and send out an encouraging message. A lot of people thought it would be easy. And hey, if I do the 67 days, Glenn's going to send me some free Rise and Grind gear and a gear bag. And who knows, I might just change my life. And then the weekend came. Everybody was super excited about it last week. I mean, everyone's talking new year, new you. And then came the weekend. And I noticed some people disappeared over the weekend. And then I noticed yesterday there was more people jumping on, which is great, which is what we want. And there was a few more that were falling off. You see, it's not easy, because what we're trying to do with you in the Morning 5 67-day challenge is we're trying to completely change your mindset of how you attack the morning. Do you understand that? We're trying to create a consistent, steady, repeatable action. See, if you can consistently, steadily, over time, repeat this action of the Morning 5 every single day, ultimately it's going to shift this. It's going to change your mind, it's going to change your body, and it's going to fill your spirit. That's why it's so important to me. That's why I'm willing to tell you, hey, if you do it, if you go the full 67 days, I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up with gear, Hustle and Grind Con tickets. I'll hook you up if you can go the whole 67 days, because I know what it'll do to all three parts: mind, body, spirit. But it takes action. Consistent, steady, repeatable actions. When you think about this shift, I want you to keep in mind a few components. You're going to have to take consistent, steady, and repeatable actions onto what goes into your mind. The music that you listen to, the television programs that you watch, all of these things will have an effect on how your mind is programmed, right? We're talking about programming and viruses and the lag and whether you get the recovery time or not. All of these things, they can be influenced by your inputs. Also, as you're creating consistent, steady, and repeatable actions, I want you to be careful about the words that you use. the words that you use with others, and the words that you use with yourself. All of these things are incredibly important. Remember, you are constantly programming. You're trying to avoid the viruses. Certain words that you use with yourself and with others will corrupt your entire hard drive. You're trying to avoid the lag and the overload. We want to make sure that we're rested and recovered. We want to make sure that we're putting in the right input. So be careful about the words you use and the words that you use for others and the words that you use with yourself. And lastly, I want to make sure that you create a consistent, steady, repeatable action in order to change the results that you're getting both at work and at home. It's far too often that we make a goal, we decide we're going to pour all into our work, we're going to pour into our careers, we're going to put in all the time, hours, the energy, the effort, and we end up leaving our children and our spouses and our loved ones in our wake. We end up leaving them behind. I want you to start thinking about what consistent, steady, repeatable actions can you take to make sure that you reprogram, right? Reprogram your mind, how you think about your spouse, how you treat your children, how you work, life, all of that. In order for you to become a new you in 2020, you got to make a full 360. Or full 180. It's got to be all of you, not just part of you. Listen, when your mind gets in the right place, when your mind gets a win, right? Like when you start to win, you're creating consistent, steady, repeatable actions and you start to win. That's when your mind starts to reprogram. Okay? That's when it starts to reconnect different synapses in the brain. So you are 3-part mind, body, and spirit. So if you start with your mind, open it to the possibilities, and you'll be absolutely floored with the impact that it makes in your life.